was that illegal?
No, no, sir. The reason why we're stopping you is because of the window tint violation.
I blinked my blue lights at you to let you know who I was.
Yes, sir. Well,
okay. I got your chief on the phone right now. That's
yes,
fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Can you calm down for me, please?
The police chief is getting a lot of flack for how he treats his team. The whole thing was caught on body cams in Pike County. Absurd, he'd never tolerate this behavior from another citizen. He is exactly the cop that people hates, gives law enforcement a bad name. He needs anger management and a new job. I can't even imagine what these guys did back in those days without the body cam. If he treats his own people like this, I can imagine how he treats a regular citizen. Wow! You could tell he was quite pompous in his position, ego-tripping and insulting police officers. This guy doesn't need to be holding a badge. He is being disrespectful to the officers he claims to be thankful for. Wow! How contradicting. Just imagine how he talks to regular citizens. I'm a retired officer and this chief just made my blood boil. Some people shouldn't have authority over others, and this guy is a prime example. This is when you think your position gives you the power to speak to people how you want. Unreal how some officers dish it out but can't take it. For a police chief, he acts more like a 5-year-old that is having a bad day. I'm thankful for the accountability body cams have brought to the police force. On August 26, 2022, Police Chief Zebulon Jonathan Hemphill got pulled over by cops in Molena, Georgia. They stopped him because his windows were too tinted and his license plate wasn't registered. As soon as they signaled him to pull over, he ran towards the officers and started threatening them.
Say hello, was that illegal?
No, no, sir. The reason why we're stopping you is because of the window tint violation.
I blinked my blue lights at you to let you know who I was.
Yes, sir. Well, we didn't know with it, that's not a government tag.
That is a unofficial tag. That tag's not even on file.
I see, yes. Well, we have to catch up the bill to run and everything like that, sir.
So I won't blink my blue lights at you next time. I'll let you just sit there.
Zebulon Jonathan Hemphill said he was the police chief and that the two cops worked for him.
Well, nice to meet you, sir.
Matt Polk worked for me. Your chief worked for me.
Yes, sir. There's no need to get upset.
I'm upset because I spoke to you when I come by, and now you're pulling me over.
Sir, I've never met you a day in my life.
I understand that.
Why are you being hostile?
Easy. I don't have to talk to you.
As you can see, Chief Hemphill was getting more and more arrogant and throwing his weight around. But what he did next will really surprise you.
Why are you coming up to me like that? I'm doing my job, right?
What are you stopping for?
I'm stopping for one because it's dark.
I have blue lights.
Okay, you know how many officers have blue lights on
You
me?
writing me a ticket, yes or no? Or you writing me a ticket, I'm just gonna leave.
Criminal justice expert Thaddeus Johnson said he was really worried about the lack of respect the police chief had for the officers. He also said, the first thing he said was, "I'm going to call your chief," as if he is above reproach, as if his relationship makes him above the law, as if the relationship makes him above the officers who are working every day to keep our streets safe. Things kept heating up even though the officer was trying to defuse the situation.
I'm just saying, I spoke to you guys. I didn't have to do that. I could have eased on by y'all. I appreciate the job y'all out here doing.
Chief,
I'm
trying to be respectful with you.
I understand
okay?
that. I understand.
I'm not raising my voice or nothing at you,
that.
right?
I understand.
All right, let's.
But I'm trying to tell you,
respectful to one
the
another,
only
okay?
thing I done wrong was spoke. Y'all never would have pulled me over if I hadn't flicked my blue lights.
No,
at you.
sir. No, we were going to pull your actually. I'm
No,
not going to lie to you. I'm telling you straight up, okay?
Okay. All right.
But
The chief yelled at the officer that he didn't want to talk. Hemphill ended up getting a ticket that day, but after the incident, Molena's police chief said he completely backed his officers. I don't know why that traffic stop transpired the way that it did, but I am very proud of my officers for the way that they handled it. On top of that, criminal justice expert Johnson pointed out that he thought Chief Hemphill was really rude to the female officer at the scene. He was extremely disrespectful, and the level of disrespect was much higher toward the female officer. And that's an issue we face, this bravado, the patriarchal aspect, the machismo. We wonder why women, we can't get them to join the force, or we don't see them in positions of leadership. Plus, after the video of the incident was posted, it got over 70,000 views and tons of comments. People were really angry about how Chief Hemphill used his position to dismiss and threaten his subordinates. So, what did everyone say about the video? Let's check it out. The chief is very hostile. It's almost hilarious how active he is being, as if he's about to get into a tussle. How dare they pull him over? Don't they realize that some people are above the law and better than everyone else? These men made a career out of pulling people over, then are shocked and appalled when it happens to them. The widespread narcissistic entitlement is incredible. When police can't even talk to each other, you know they corrupt. So absurd at the end when the cops are commenting, well, so non-professional. My grandfather was a previous police chief for Zebulon until he had to retire, and I showed him this video and he said this guy should be ashamed to be wearing a badge. That was the perfect opportunity for the chief to go undercover boss, but instead he went with the "do you know who I am" card. Being humble goes a long way. That goes for everyone. Makes you wonder how he treats his staff if he doesn't get his way. This chief needs to lose his job immediately. People like this should not be in positions of authority. Wow, that dude's ego is ridiculous and way out of line. Can't imagine how corrupt he is off camera if he's like that, knowing he's being recorded. He's a danger to society. He knows exactly what he is doing. Is it legal in the US to have tinted windows this dark? In the UK, I think that would be an offense. I can imagine how he would treat his own officers if they pull him over. If a regular citizen acted like that, they'd get arrested. Doing your job while being told you're not doing your job while getting in trouble for doing your job. Typical. Wow, that dude's ego is ridiculous and way out of line. Can't imagine how corrupt he is off camera if he's like that, knowing he's being recorded. He's a danger to society. That sense of entitlement and power has no bounds. Can you imagine how that chief treats the regular public, and some wonder why the trust and respect is taking an ass-kicking? How on earth can a man like this hold any position in the police department? He should have been dismissed from the police. My utmost respect for the officers who kept their cool and did everything right. He don't need to be on the force. His attitude is crazy. When your ego is bigger than your position, you need to come down. His attitude is beyond disgusting. How can someone with no respect for law enforcement continue to work within it? Just arrest him for disorderly conduct. Could you get a taste of the aggression you dish out to the public? He has definitely let his position go to head. He was truly a jerk to those officers. Is that how he wants his officers treated? He needs to be sent to anger management, public communication, and sensitivity training. I hope that the powers that be send him there. That man needs to be fired. Thank you for making this go viral. It's only a few bad apples. Yet every time a chief or higher-up cops pulled over, they act like a mob boss who's untouchable. Disgusting behavior by seniors. They must be an example to juniors, but not like this. He's one of the ones that feels he is above the law because of his position. He should get fired. As a chief of police, all he had to do was say who he was and let them do their job. That should have ended with a "great job" and a handshake. Adding, "I want my officers to be as engaged." That went bad quickly. He was under investigation after this and had to attend anger training. This jerk takes "do you know who I am" to a whole new level. He gives his entire department a bad name. That type of entitlement is dangerous. Crazy how he can step out his vehicle, scream at them, and not get thrown to the ground by 7 other cops. This is a guy that has let his power go to his head. There should be a petition to demand he either resigns or is fired immediately. I feel sorry for his family more than anyone. You know he's a jerk to them too. His lack of self-awareness made it possible for him to have an inflated ego and not check himself. I love how officers can disrespect each other like that, but if a civilian acted the way he did, they'd be on the ground. Shame. This police chief should be busted to a regular cop for disrespecting these cops like that. He was aggressive, rude, and entitled. What a shame someone like that is police chief. The narcissism is so deep in most police forces that explains why this guy didn't get put in handcuffs. Hadn't been anyone else, they would have been going to jail. We as citizens would have been thrown to the ground and put in cuffs if we acted that way. Hypocrisy at its best, and by a police chief. It's scary when the ones at the top have the emotional maturity of a 3rd grader. "You know who I am, you know who I know." Always the response. The plate didn't add up, so this cop is angry that he's being treated as any other person. If I was the Molena police chief, I would be more upset about the way he treated my officers. He needs to go. He's an embarrassment to the profession. As a leader, he's not leading. The arrogance, unprofessional behavior, lack of respect to those doing the hard work is mind-blowing. The city needs to fire his arse. How dare you enforce the law on another law enforcement officer? He should be proud of this officers for doing their job correctly, knowing he the highest official. Absurdo e falta de respeto. Also, criminal justice expert Johnson and the public showed their appreciation for how professional and firm the two officers were. I commend those officers because there is a power imbalance. They're just trying to do their job, and they did not back down. For citizens, you want officers like that, who reinforce the law no matter who it is. I'm happy that both of you did your duty perfectly. Don't be intimidated by anybody. If he's breaking the law, he's breaking the law, and no one is above the law. Be fearless in your duty, for you represent the nation. What a wonderful guy, and so nice. Kudos to the officers for following through and not allowing Mr. Special Pants to go without looking at his license and running his tag. Police acted professionally. As for the man, disgraceful was the first word that came to mind. I hope the chief backs up the police team. He needs to be humbled. Respect to that female officer for telling him, "You're just like anybody else getting pulled over." He threatened her with, "Your boss gonna love this," or some such. The arrogance. She should be promoted for doing her job so diligently. I like how she stood up against him and treated him like any other citizen. News outlets said they tried to get a response from the city of Zebulon and the sheriff's office, but they haven't heard back yet. The Molena Police Department has now started using the Pike County Sheriff's Office channel to make it easier to communicate and handle emergency calls from residents. What are your thoughts on this whole situation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss any future videos. See you next time.